Hi everyone, it's Andrew again, and this is my new device. It's basically, what can I say, it's a CV utility device, which is to say that there is, on it, there is one chip, which down here, and it has, on that chip it has four op amps, and each one of these devices uses one of those op amps. So I'll break it down first of all. In the blue there, it just gives a constant controllable voltage out. So that sounds a bit boring, but it's actually kind of useful, and we'll sort of see in a little while. Partially also for controlling one of the other devices. Now, the two in green are what's called attenuators. This one here has an indicator on it, the other one doesn't. Basically what they do is an attenuator both kind of quietens or makes a signal louder, but it also can invert it. So basically at 12 o'clock nothing should come through, and then you go this way and the original signal comes through louder and louder until it's and then if you go back to 12 o'clock and you go reverse it, you get the original signal, but it's inverted. So what was positive is now negative, and what is now negative is now positive. Again, this sort of sounds a little bit boring, but it's one of those things that actually can be very, very useful when you're doing things. And so we'll explore a little bit why later on. So the second one does the same thing, gives you an indicator about what's going out though. So sometimes that's really useful when you're working with stuff, to know that there is something actually coming through. But in the middle is offset, and so this has an in, this one has an offset control and an out. And again, this one also has an output. I did it in Ukrainian colors because, so what an offset does is basically takes a signal and it pushes it to one side or another of the negative space, depending on how much offset you give. So you give it a negative offset, and again, you can just take the const and put that in there, and you give it a negative, and the signal that you put down there will move a little bit to the negative side. Again, if you push it to the positive, it'll move it to the positive side. So that's pretty much my CV utility tool. It's quite messy in the back here. I'll probably clean that up a little bit. This is hopefully part one of a set of utility tools I'm going to do, but we'll have to sort of see in the future, see how successful I am at doing that. Anyway, so let's go have a look at what it can do in practice. All right. Okay, so now we haven't got it quite installed as well as I'd like, but that's fine. There's a few adjustments to go. But anyway, so here we have the device plugged in, and the first thing I want to show you is the const. And so the basically we've got that. So that is just it just gives a constant voltage out, and so to show you what it's doing, I've got it plugged into a scope down here. So we'll just on ornaments and crime, and so when I turn the potentiometer to the right, as you can see, the voltage goes up. It only goes to 3.7 volts at the moment, but that's fine. And then when we go down from the 12 o'clock position to the left, you can see we go down to there as well. So it's not quite as balanced as I like, but that's fine. It does the job pretty much. All right, so the next part is the two attenuators, the ones in green, so the one on top and the one down the bottom. And so the one down the bottom has a little indicator, so we can sort of see that at the moment. As you can sort of see, look, I'll turn it down to 12 o'clock position, so no signal is coming through. This is your out one, that's where it should go out. I've just got it basically, it's an envelope going out, being pulse waved, And so generally speaking, it should just show you the positive when I turn it to the right. So as we go up, as you can see, we're getting a little bit of a pulse wave come through, and then we turn it all the way to the right, and so it's this pretty strong signal coming out. All right, so that's just that way. But as I said before, one of the great things about attenuators is that you can invert the signals. So when we go to the left here, as you can start to see, that's the negative signal coming out, and so it's the same signal, but it's just inverted, and it basically gives you a little bit more control. Okay, so the final part of this utility box is the offset control here. So that's right in the center. So I've got it hooked up. At the moment, we've got an LFO going into the attenuator on the left here. And so the attenuator, I'm going to turn down a little bit. So it's about half rate. And that's now going from there into the offset control. So I'm going to show you on the scope. Basically, that's your slightly attenuated. I might attenuate it a little bit more, slightly smaller. So we've just got an attenuated small LFO. So it's not its full size, but it's in the center at the moment. So one of the things about the offset is that this is where the const control comes in really useful. So I've got it plugged in, and that's going straight into the offset amount. So if we go back to the scope and I move the const to the right, as you can see, it's shifting it up a little bit. And then if we fall to the left, into the negative, basically now that is basically the CV is in the negative territory. So that's pretty much what that does. But it's useful because we don't need to do it manually. I can plug it into another one of the LFOs, and that can automatically start to, so as you can see, it's moving that smaller LFO up and down the scope. And that sort of helps to add a lot of movement and a lot of variation to the structure of the sounds that you're making. All right, so that's that. We're going to leave you with a little bit more of my initial patch I made with my CV box. Okay, bye.